Alright guys, what's up and welcome to the video. Today we're going to be going over why I love doing conjugate training. So just to get started, I found out about conjugate training through either Max Tuning or the Maths channel maybe 3-4 years ago-ish. That's when I was starting to get into weightlifting seriously, and I decided that I wanted to take the route of powerlifting. When I started the very first, I went and tried doing some bodybuilding kind of training, and then at some point I got stronger and stronger, and my squat has always been a pretty strong thing for me through high school and everything, and so I decided I want to get stronger. So I went through and I ran so many different programs. The longest one I think I ran before Conjugate was probably the Wendler's 531, which is what usually a lot of people stick with, but for me, after a little more research, I stumbled across the Maths channel and went through and used their guide, which isn't available, I don't think, anymore, unless someone has it saved somewhere, since now they split up and they cut that channel off. They don't really have that guide up there, which was a great guide for learning how to set up the conjugate method and all the different ways you can do it. So I rolled with that for a little bit. That got me stronger. And then at some point I lost track of what I wanted to do again, and I was all over the place in strength programming, and then finally I settled for Conjugate. And for one main reason, for me at least, is because all of the different variations that you can do for all the lifts made it so much fun to go into the gym. So I decided that sticking with Conjugate is what I wanted to do. And just recently, this past meet, I hired a coach because personally I'm not very good at programming Conjugate for myself. I tried it on my meet before that and I got little baby PRs. I mean, all of them were meet PRs, but personal PRs, they were perfect, and unfortunately I got 300 in training, but I only got 275 at the competition, so I didn't really program it too well. So I hired a coach at Jacked on Instagram. He's fantastic, and this previous meet, all 3 lifts were meet PRs, all 3 lifts were regular PRs. 530 on the squat, which was huge for me, and usually that's how it goes for me. My deadlift will come up and then my squat will meet it, and then maybe pass it a little bit, and then my deadlift, and they kind of just, they play with each other, and so they'll both go up evenly. And then my bench has kind of just been personally awful because for someone for 220 I still can't bench 315, so I feel kind of meh about that. But bench 303 at the competition and it went pretty smooth, which was about a 30-pound PR using Conjugate for raw lifters, by the way. I competed in the raw class. And then about 30 pounds in my squat and about 15 pounds in my deadlift. So Conjugate works, it's extremely fun, and if you find someone who's extremely knowledgeable on the subject, go with them until you get to understand the different aspects of Conjugate, because it's not as simple as doing a variation lift and then doing speed work each week. You got to figure out how to program those max efforts to translate into a better meet performance, because you can't just do a max single every single lift for the rest of your life. You're just going to tear down your CNS, and even then, a lot of people will program like reverse band squats and squat like 200 pounds over their squat or whatever, and then come meet day try and do some crazy squat and then just completely fail, because one, that'll just kill your CNS, and two, your ego is going to be so high you're just going to think you can do all these kinds of lifts because you did 700-pound reverse band squat or something, and that's not the case. And dynamic effort days aren't as easy either. You can't just do 30% of speed work with bands on each side every day. You got to kind of vary those percentages, do 30, 35, 40, then rotate it down and change from bands to chains. There's a lot of different variations and a lot of different learning that you have to do to understand Conjugate, and even I don't understand it completely, so exactly what I was saying and why I have a coach for this. But also, a lot of people will neglect their accessory work for multiple reasons. The accessory work that is there to help you build more muscle so that you can get stronger. You'll have more muscle to recruit to get stronger, and a lot of people will neglect that. And also they'll so back in the day whenever I used to lift lifts, and I'm saying back in the day, but that was like 5 or 6 years ago, which it wasn't too long ago, you'll go out there and you'll have like banded squat, and then you'll have a secondary accessory. And I'm just going off of the Mathstatics template. You do like banded squat for a double, and then you'll do 3 sets of 5 or 5 sets of 3 at like 80% of that, and then you'll have like pin squats, and then you'll go into your accessories. So what I've seen a few people do and heard a few people do is they'll do their banded squat, and then they'll do their drop down sets, and then their pin squats, and they'll get into their accessories, and the accessories will be like leg curl, leg extension, leg press, and calf raise. Seems like a pretty general accessory exercises for the squat. But in reality, what they probably should be doing is finding where their weakness is and trying to hammer those out with the accessory movements. Because personally, I feel like the accessory movements they're not better than doing a main variation for your weak point. But I think if you have weak hamstrings, doing like glute ham raises or reverse hypers, trying to hammer out those weak muscles, those weak areas through accessory movements is what you should be doing, instead of just trying to walk through accessories or not take them as seriously. If you take your accessories as seriously as you do your main movements, you'll be so much better in the end. It'll be so much better, and that's what some people just don't understand. They kind of they get done with their main move and their movements, and they're like, oh man, thank God we're done with that, and then they'll just blow off their accessories like it's nothing, just get a relax and chill time. And if you take everything as seriously as you did before, you'll be so much stronger in the end of your meet or whatever you're trying to do with it. So I know I went on a little rant about accessories and taking them seriously, but if you take your accessories seriously, that's where you'll start to shine through. And I'm not saying accessories are make or break, but they're there for a reason, and you need to do them. It's just a few reasons why I love Conjugate, and the main ones are basically, it's just every workout you go into, whether it's speed or dynamic day or speed, whether it's max effort or dynamic effort days, it's always fun to go in there, and it's always something different. And that's what I didn't like about 531, because you knew what was coming next, you knew what accessories you're doing, you knew what lift you were doing, and it just got too repetitive, and I hated it. But I just stuck with it, and I got stronger. I'm not saying it doesn't get you stronger, but it just wasn't fun to go into the gym. So what I like about a Conjugate is that it's always fun. You always have a different variation, and I personally, I like hammering out those weak points. If I didn't have any weak points, I'd feel great. Obviously, it wouldn't be as fun anymore, and you'll always have weak points because you bring up those hamstrings and you'll find another weak point. There's always going to be something that you need to work on with the Conjugate method, and I like being able to work on those weak points. It feels and it sounds like the smartest thing to do. If you have a weak link in a chain, why not just build a new link? That's my rant about it. It's not really a how-to video today. I know I was like, all right, we'll do how-tos on Fridays and vlogs on Mondays, or however it said that. But I kind of wanted to say Fridays also for like these talking videos or these rant videos. So if you like this video, I'll leave a few links down below for an Elite FTS article it's called A Calloused Hands Guide to Conjugate Method. It's a great article on how to set up the Conjugate method, especially for beginners. And if you go follow them on Instagram, they also have, I think they have like an ebook that you can download as well that has a little more information in it. But the article should be good enough in case you want to use a few of their templates and go through and try and learn Conjugate yourself, and at least try and set up a basic program. And then it'll be up to you to do the work to start reading and finding out articles and learning more and more about the Conjugate method. And at some point, I hope to get to that point where I can program myself. But currently, I'm very happy with the coach I have, and I'm very happy with the programming he's doing. So I'm going to stick with that for right now. And in case I ever do decide I want to change, I will do that. But if you want to try Conjugate out, I'd try it. I know back in the day, it used to be a big thing throughout the powerlifting community and all the YouTube, well, not that community specifically, but more like the YouTubers, the powerlifting YouTubers, or just the lifting YouTubers in general. It used to be a big trend, and then people have kind of moved away from that. But personally, I don't see why not. something I could probably do for the rest of my life, honestly, personally as well. It just depends on what you find fun and what gets you in the gym, and stay consistent with your lifting and makes you better at the end of the day. So once again, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, and leave a like, comment, subscribe down below. Have a great day and stay Dynami strong.